Hi, and welcome to Female Entrepreneurs Magazine, your go to platform for ambitious women who are ready to take the business world by storm. I'm your host, Angel France, and each week we'll dive into the latest strategies, stories, and success secrets from the most inspiring female entrepreneurs around the world. Whether you're just starting out or scaling up, this is your space to connect, learn, and grow alongside a community of trailblazing women who, just like you, they are making their mark in the world of business. From personal branding to powerhouse marketing, from leadership to lifestyle tips, we've got you covered. So get ready to ignite your passion, fuel your purpose, and unlock your potential with Female Entrepreneurs Magazine. Let's make this journey together and turn your entrepreneurial dreams into reality. And welcome to The Real Female Entrepreneur. Today's guest is on a mission to help millennials ditch that cookie cutter life and design one that's all about their unique vision, values, and their vibe. You know what? I get that. I feel that way. I feel like that's been my whole life. So on top of that, she is a powerhouse coach and trainer who's all about empowering her clients to create lives of their own dreams on their own terms. She brings a blend of savvy, coaching, inspiration, and a serious, you got this energy to every session she undertakes, helping her clients break free from that mold and embrace their true self. Get ready to be inspired to live boldly and authentically. Please welcome the amazing Teodora Paucean. I hope I did that right. Did I?
You got it. You got it. Thank you so much for the lovely introduction and for taking the time to talk to me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun, I promise. Okay.
I trust you.
Okay. So, what first inspired you to become an amazing entrepreneur that you are? What got you there? Something had to happen.
Yeah, so after I studied psychology in the UK, I moved back to my home country, which is Romania, and I started working in more of a corporate setting in human resources. And even though there were many positives to the job, I really felt that something was not right, that I was not truly aligned with what I was doing. And every day started to feel like a hassle, like this is not really where I want to be. So I kind of started digging deeper and really trying to understand who I really was and what was truly suitable for me. I went into a psychodrama training, which is a form of psychotherapy through creative activities and play and working together with groups of people. And through that training, which lasted for almost 3 years, I got to discover more about my values, my personality, my vision, and what was really important for me. So in the pandemic in 2020, I decided to take a leap of faith, to start my own business and move abroad to Germany for personal reasons. And ever since then, I've been building and building and building on the path of supporting other people as well.
That is phenomenal. So, you specifically do coaching individually and training in groups? Is that
Yes, exactly.
all right? And so, your specific target is the millennials, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, for those in the audience who don't understand that age group of the millennials, can you explain that to them?
Yeah, so I'm not too strict about that. I'm just roughly referring to people who maybe are between late 20s and early 40s or mid 40s, because that's closer to my age as well. So it's probably a little bit easier for people to relate to me from that perspective. And also because I've gone through such experiences myself and feel that we can connect based on similar values and perspectives about our careers, relationships, and so on and so forth.
So COVID happened. That made you take that leap, correct?
Yeah.
And so, how did you build your business? Did you know what you wanted to do and you had started it a little bit? or did you just jump all the way in feet first?
A combination of both, honestly. At first, it was the pandemic. I was at home in Romania and I was working online for the company that I had been previously working for in HR. But because I had more free time, I started collaborating with one of my friends, an amazing female entrepreneur as well in Romania, although she's more of a technical person. And at the beginning, we tried to create an app that would support people with developing their confidence about public speaking. So when I decided to quit my job, we created this business and we started from scratch. It's just that after about 6 months of doing research in the market and testing our ideas, we realized that the app was a little bit idealistic. And rather, we decided to stick to training and coaching. And then about 6 months later, I also launched my individual self-awareness coaching sessions. And since then, I've been building more on this topic. But the public speaking part is also something that I do on the side, sometimes one-on-one, sometimes with groups, sometimes online, and sometimes offline as well.
So I can actually see how what you were talking about, the app, how like most entrepreneurs, we have this vision in our mind, but it's way ahead of the curve of everybody else.
Yeah.
And so we have to like maneuver to find another way that fits in the world right now and have that sit on the back burner. We always have to do that.
Absolutely. Combining our idealism and some sort of a realistic, pragmatic sense as well.
Yes, very, very much so. Because I've done that. Been ahead of the time and then go back off of it. And then somebody else comes up with it 15, 20 years later. And I'm like, I had that thought, but I just didn't. It wasn't the right time.
Exactly. I can relate very much to that.
So being in business on your own for about 3 to 4 years, is that about right?
Yeah, four and a bit. Yeah.
4 and a bit, almost 5. Okay. Yeah. What advice would you have somebody who's brand new, just thinking about becoming a female entrepreneur and starting their own business?
Very good question. And honestly, I would say to expect having imposter syndrome and to learn how to deal with it. I've experienced this myself, and I've also worked with so many clients who are entrepreneurs or are in some sort of careers that are similar to being in entrepreneurship, and everybody seems to come across this. And if you lack the tools to deal with it, it is very likely that it will bring you down, and you might even stop doing what you're really passionate about because you have this crippling self-doubt, anxiety, stress about what you do. You're constantly doubting your worth. You're constantly feeling like I'm not good enough. What I'm doing is not up to the standards that I want it to be. And if I am to get a little bit deeper into that, the biggest lesson that I've learned is that listening to the common advice of if you have imposter syndrome, it means you're not an imposter, doesn't work. I've tried that, it doesn't work. You cannot fully trick your brain into believing it. But what does work is figuring out what are some of the ways in which you have been lying to yourself. What are some of the ways in which you have been kind of deceitful? Because maybe deep down you know that you value something, or that something is important to you, but on social media, maybe you're presenting something else because you think that is what sells. That's what people want to see. Or anything along those lines where your internal world doesn't match with your external projection and image, or what you say. And that is a very common source for imposter syndrome. And then the second part is overly relying on your ego in the face or over the idea of contribution. What I mean by that is we are entrepreneurs, hopefully, because we want to contribute to the world in a positive way with our talents, our skills, our passion. But if we forget about that and overly focus on our ego and impressing other people, this is the road that will take you to anxiety, self-doubt, and imposter syndrome, because critics are everywhere, right? So it's inevitable you'll run across such people.
Yeah, you'll run across 1 or 2 of them minimally.
Every week.
Every week. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I love the fact that you brought up imposter syndrome as a struggle because I agree with that 100%. That we all have done, we've all faced it. And if you say, oh, no, I've never faced that, well, there's something else you faced a lot more than
Yes, absolutely.
than that. So, and plus, you've been in the business, running your own business for a while. So, what is something that you would actually a struggle that maybe would come up to somebody? How can they overcome a struggle or some self doubt that they have? And you just answered a lot of that, but if you could go a little deeper into
Hmm.
not just starting a business, but also the total struggle
Yeah.
of that and that self doubt.
Yeah. I think that this is a mindset that entrepreneurs need to cultivate. Expect having a lot of struggles, expect facing a lot of uncertainty, expect facing a lot of self doubt. Because I feel like my experience was that I was reading a lot of information online, and a lot of people who were selling like marketing services or business consultancy services, they were giving off the impression that it's kind of like this: you're going upwards in a smooth way. And as you keep working, you keep building, and things are getting better for you, right? But most of the time, they aren't. They go more like in a zigzag of some sort. So because of that, you might feel like, oh, I'm progressing and things are going really well. And then all of a sudden something hits you in the face and things are not going well anymore. And you go downhill for a while. And I feel like those are the crucial moments where we have to remember why we're doing what we're doing. And is that strong enough to keep us connected to our purpose and our vision and our values? Because if it's not, we will probably let go of our dream and stop running our own business. I was reading this statistic that I think 2 out of 3 coaches or more quit their business in less than 3 years of having started, because it's hard, because the market is competitive, because it's hard to get clients and have a steady source of income. And I think this can apply in many other industries as well, where, the profession is maybe not so regulated. People don't really know what to expect. There's a lot of confusion about it. There are people who practice, for example, coaching, but they do not have the qualifications or the experience to do so. And then they make people lose trust. So you have to keep all of this in mind, kind of like a context that you're operating in, and keep connecting to yourself and invest in your self-awareness. I always say, not just because I'm biased from my profession, but I always say that self-awareness or investing in your self-awareness is what pays the most dividends long term, because it will bring you the most happiness and satisfaction, both in your relationships personally, but also in business, if you're an entrepreneur especially.
I love that. That is so true. So, talking about you and what you've learned so far, and going back, what would you tell your 18-year-old self?
Very good question, because I've been reflecting on that in the last few days. I would tell her that the dreams that she has are absolutely possible, that she shouldn't let go of her crazy optimism and visionary mind, of her passion for working with people and bringing people together, because life will get harder, more challenges will come, more difficult moments that will challenge her ability to stay positive and optimistic, but that she should never let go of that, because it's something that's really part of who she is deep down. There's this theory that I love working with. It's called positive intelligence, from Shirzad Shamin. He's a wonderful coach in the United States as well. And he talks about the sage and the saboteurs that each person has. And the sage is almost like our essence that we are born with. It's mindful, it's positive, it's inspirational. But then with life, with different challenges that we have with trauma, we keep bottling up and we get many different layers of self-sabotaging styles, right? So I think my 18-year-old self was very connected to that essence sage. And then, of course, I got my own saboteurs along the way, and that it's really important to go back to that essence.
That's true. And just know, I mean, because as an entrepreneur, we're all optimistic,
Yeah.
and we have grandiose ideas. And like we said a minute ago, sometimes it's just not the timing for them, but they're still there. And we
Yeah.
just need to know that it's okay. Just maneuvering.
Exactly.
I call it pivoting, continual pivoting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. And kind of adapting, like holding on to your vision, but then adapting to the present challenges as well.
I love that. All right. So, what is like one strategy maybe that you used to build your business that maybe you said, oh, that wasn't going to work, but all of a sudden it just happened and it just made you flourish? Or one unique thing that you said, that really worked and I need to do more of it?
Honestly, the first thing that comes to mind is back to the first lockdown in 2020 when I was not an entrepreneur yet. I was on the phone with my aunt and we were just chatting. We are very close. And we were talking about, okay, what do we do if our jobs disappear now or if the pandemic completely changes everything? And then we were just laughing. And I said, you know what? Maybe we should start a YouTube channel without having any clear intention of like scaling or selling or something, just talking about personality types because that's something I'm very passionate about. So I started and I didn't think it would be like really successful, but then it did bring me quite a lot of clients, quite a lot of recognition. 2 years later, it was one of the tools that helped me become a speaker at 2 international conferences on the topic, and I got to meet online some of my idols from the field, people that do amazing research in the world. So I couldn't believe my eyes when that happened. I was like, the teenager me who was so passionate about this would have never thought this was possible.
So, a YouTube channel.
A YouTube channel, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. That's awesome. I think everybody needs to have a YouTube channel in today's world.
Yeah, I mean, in general, having a presence online is so important, but I feel like the YouTube environment is special compared to other platforms because the long form content really helps people to see more of who you are. They connect better with you and they're more likely to trust you.
I was told by a YouTuber that it's a Google search engine for
Yeah,
you as well. And
yes,
so that is
absolutely.
why it's just not like a social media tool. It is a Google platform for searching.
Yes, absolutely. It's really good for that, and people can find your videos from like 4 years ago by searching. Whereas on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, it's a bit more difficult to do that.
Yeah, I love that. All right. Another thing is, can you share any future plans or goals that you have for your business or personally that you'd want to share with us that we need to keep an eye out for about you?
Honestly, my biggest desire is to keep contributing to real impact in the world. And one of the things that I believe in is bringing people together in such a way that they create open dialogue. We have a lot of opinions, and we see now in the world, we have difficult political situations. There are wars. There are so many things going on, pandemics, financial crisis, and so on and so forth. And I feel like this polarization that is being created worldwide is causing us so much of this trouble and suffering. So something that I want to do more of in the future is create spaces beyond the individual coaching sessions where I already do that, but also with groups to create spaces where people from all over the world can come together and support each other and learn from each other. And one way to do that is through Erasmus projects. These projects are funded by the European Union government. You apply for a grant, and then you can basically bring people from many different countries together to create a learning experience together. I've done a few such projects in the last couple of years, but I'm planning to do more of these in different countries in Europe. So that's an exciting element because I can see you have 12, 13 nations coming together, extremely different cultures, but after some time, it's all about the human essence beyond everything else.
Oh, wow. So we're going to keep our eyes open for that for sure, because that is going to be a very intriguing and a connection between all of us that leads us to one group, one people
Yeah,
united as one. I love
yeah,
that. That is
absolutely.
awesome. So if you had one superpower for only 24 hours, what would it be?
This is quite unrelated to my work, but I would say flying. It's something that I've always kind of dreamt about, this ability to be light and to just be able to move to different spaces, to see things very easily. I love traveling and I love learning. And I feel like flying would help me to save so much time to be able to go to all of these different places.
I think that would be cool too. And that, you know what, that has been the theme for this group who are going to be in the next magazine. They all want to fly.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that's
Cool.
always fun to see like a group of people from all types of different countries and backgrounds come together and have that same little superpower they want. I think that's cute.
Wow. I was
Okay,
not expecting that.
I wasn't either. Okay, so one fun fact about you that not everybody knows about. Oh, that you'd want to share.
Yeah, of course. Oh, that's difficult. Well, it's a bit boring, but I am a very, very big coffee drinker. You know, Lorelai Gilmore from Gilmore Girls?
Yeah.
I'm kind of like that. So when I watched the show for the first time about 10 years ago or more, I was like, oh my God, spirit animal when it comes to coffee drinking. So I really need to pay attention to not exaggerating with it, especially when I'm in the flow, I'm working, I'm having all these like creative ideas. And then it's like, oh, another cup. It will be such a nice feeling to have another one. But for health reasons, I need to be careful not to overdo it.
I have the same challenge. It's okay. I'll get to eat and drink coffee.
Sometimes it can be a good replacement. No, I'm joking, but it is wonderful.
Because we're in the flow and it's like, it's just quick and easy.
So easy. And it tastes so nice. Like I'm not just addicted to the caffeine, but also to the taste. And I cannot start my morning without it. I get out of bed and immediately go to the coffee machine. Yes.
So yeah, and it can't be no little cup. It's got to be like a big one.
A huge one, yes. It's very unsatisfying otherwise.
All right. What about a book that you love that you've maybe learned a lesson or you just, it's like your go-to book for motivation?
Right. One of the recent ones that really inspired me is called Homecoming by Thema Bryant. She's a psychologist and I think also a minister in the United States with an African background. And she talks a lot about ways to reconnect with ourselves after we go through like really difficult periods in life. It could be periods of like disconnection from our values and what we truly believe in, or it could be periods of abuse and trauma. It's a lovely booklet with plenty of practical exercises, and it also feels like a warm hug. I love it. I really recommend it.
I love that. All right. What about a song that gets you up and moving a little bit?
Sorry, what about a
song?
A song. Honestly, I'm a big fan of music that's a bit sad, and for some reason it makes me be in a good mood. And recently I've been listening a lot to Ron Pope, specifically the song A Drop in the Ocean. I really, really like it. I discovered it a long time ago, but I rediscovered it recently. And it's really romantic and poetic, and that's another side of me that can come up when I listen to such music.
Oh, I love that. That is perfect. All right. Do you have a favorite quote?
Oh, yes. My favorite quote is from Carl Jung, who's one of my idols in psychology. He says, "Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes." And that is really my motto for what I do with my self-awareness sessions as well, that when we look inwards, we truly and deeply connect with what's the most important to us.
That is great. And you know what? I am a personality guru freak as well. And I love Carl Jung. I am a disc freak, by the way.
Awesome.
So I totally believe in everything you're saying, truly understanding yourself and who you are.
Yeah, it is so important. I really feel like there's no other way to truly find like deep, long-lasting happiness. Otherwise, it's all like a little bit superficial, and you're very dependent on external things happening. And if they don't go your way, then you're unhappy. So, yeah.
All right. What is the best way for our audience to connect with you?
So I'm very responsive on LinkedIn. If you search for my name, Teodora Paucean, you'll find my profile. I have a pretty weird name, so there aren't other people with the same one. And if you just write me a DM on LinkedIn, I'll be very happy to get back to you. Otherwise, Instagram as well. I've got a slightly newer page, Self-Awareness Coaching, and you can follow me and send me a message there as well. I would be happy to answer.
I love that. I love self-awareness coaching.
Thank you.
I do. All right. Is there anything else that we didn't talk about that you'd love to share with our female entrepreneurs that are listening?
I would say don't fall into the trap of believing that you need to be in a certain way simply because society seems to be dictating that. And I feel like for millennials, this is a core issue. That you need to have your career figured out in a specific way until a certain age, or that you need to get married and have children until a certain age, or that your bank account should look in a certain way. There's so many shoulds and musts, and they are not particularly helpful. Maybe that's your path and that's fine, but maybe not. And it's okay to take longer to do something. I saw a really funny video online, and it said, you're 30 and you're worried that you haven't reached the important milestones in life yet. Just remember that Carrie Bradshaw and Lorelai Gilmore were 32 in the first season of the show, right? And I think that's a really important reminder for women. Just give yourself time. It's okay that it takes you longer, or that you need more like effort and resources to achieve what you want to achieve. And it's okay to do it your way.
Oh, wow. We are going to end it with do it your way, because I think that is like the main takeaway from what you share with others. Just do it your way. And I mean, that should be like a theme for you.
Yeah. I like that. It makes me think of Frank Sinatra. Do It My Way, the really famous song.
I love it. All right, Teo, thank you so much for being on with us today.
Thank you.
Fabulous. I love it.
Thank you so much. I love this conversation. And you are right, it was a lot of fun.
All right. Well, I cannot wait to see you in a magazine, and we'll talk later. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Don't leave me. Hold on. Let me just end this. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Female Entrepreneurs Magazine. I hope you found inspiration, actionable tips, and a sense of connection with our incredible community of driven women. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a review, and share the episode with fellow entrepreneurs who are ready to elevate their game. Remember, your success is just the beginning, and we're here to support you in every step of the way. Until next time, keep shining, keep thriving, and remember, you have the power to create the business and life of your dreams. Stay inspired, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.